I am Udaya Bhanja. Welcome to you to your favorite YouTube channel, Udaya Bhanja. Today, this video will teach you about the part 5 of subject-verb agreement. And this part starts from agreement number 18, and it is about the fraction or the fraction subject. And what the rule is, agreement number 18, if the subject begins with a fraction, the verb agrees with the noun that follows the fraction, just like I can say. And simply you will have to remember two things. That means the first thing is fraction and the second thing is the noun. Okay, the first thing is a fraction and the second thing is noun. To clarify the fact, I have drawn a diagram. So let's give a look at the diagram. The diagram is simply fraction. In case of fraction, you may have problems. Only for this reason, I think that it should be right on the part of me, to clarify the fact. And what is the fact? That means in case of fraction, we can classify it into three broader divisions. And what are they? That means in case of fraction, if you can find that fraction plus uncountable, and fraction plus uncountable means that means it will take singular verb. And fraction plus singular countable noun means that means it will take singular verb. And next, fraction plus plural countable noun, that means it will take a plural verb. Fact is clear or not? Once again, just like now can. In case of fraction, that means you can simply remember these three things: fraction plus uncountable, and it will take singular verb. Then proceed towards the example. 1/4, it is the fraction. Boiled rice, it is the boiled rice, it is the noun. Here now you can see 1/4 plus boiled rice, that means uncountable. 1/4 plus uncountable, that means fraction plus uncountable. So it takes the singular verb, that is each. Clear or not? Next, fraction plus singular countable noun, and it will take a singular verb. Its example is 1/4 of the apple is eaten, and 1/4 is the fraction. The apple, it is the SCN or singular countable noun. So it takes the singular verb and it is each. We shall proceed towards this rule. That means fraction plus plural countable noun. That means immediate after a fraction, if the noun that comes and that is a plural countable noun, and it will take plural verb. Example. That means here in this basket, there were 4 apples, but 1 apple has been eaten. So what we shall say? We shall say that 1/4 of the apples, 1/4 of the apples are eaten, because 1/4 is the fraction and the apple, that means plural countable noun. So fraction plus plural countable noun, it will take plural verb. Agreement number 19. And what is about it? If a subject begins with the phrase plenty of, most of, a great deal of, a good deal of, some of, etc. Once again, if the subject begins with that means this phrases that means a good deal of or a great deal of or a lot of or plenty of or most of or some of etc. What shall we do? We shall have to supply verbs according to the nouns that come immediate after these phrases. Once again, suppose that means in a sentence you can find there is a phrase, and that phrase is a great deal, a good deal of, a great deal of, a lot of, plenty of, most of, some of, etc. etc. And in this regard, that means you'll have to give a close look at the noun that comes immediate after it. That means the nouns that come immediate after it. If the nouns are plural countable nouns, they take plural verbs. And if the nouns are uncountable nouns, they take singular verbs. To make the fact clear, I am about to draw a diagram. This diagram will help you a lot to make this fact clear. So what is diagram for activity 19, for agreement 19? And immediate after, some of, plenty of, a great deal of, etc. etc. If we find that plural countable nouns are used, we have to supply plural verbs. Example, some of the girls, here the person now can see girls, it is a plural countable noun. So some of plus the girls, that is plural countable noun. So the answer is are. Some of the girls are there, because after the phrase some of, the girls is used, and here the girls, that means the girls is a plural countable noun. So we have supplied a verb that is are, and it is a plural verb. Next, another one. That means immediate after the phrases, that means some of, plenty of, etc. etc. And if uncountable nouns are used, we have to supply singular verbs. Example, some of the music was excellent. Some of the music was excellent. Here, some of is the phrase, and the music, it is uncountable. So, its answer is was. We shall proceed towards the agreement number 20. And this agreement will tell you about the phrases and the meanings of these phrases are group of. That means if a sentence begins with the phrase, a group of, a congregation of, a horde of, a regiment of, etc. etc. And after them, plural nouns may be used, but we have to supply singular verbs to them. Give a look. Agreement number 20. That means if a sentence begins with a phrase, a congregation of, a crowd of, a flock of, a group of, a horde of, or a regiment of, and we have to supply singular verb to it. Example, a group of, here the sentence begins with the phrase a group of, and after it, the noun that comes, that is elephants. A group of elephants. But elephants mean plural countable noun. But here, as the sentence begins with the phrase a group of, so we have to supply the singular verb and was. Clear or not? Just like how we can say, if a sentence begins with the phrase a congregation of, or a crowd of, or a flock of, or a group of, or a herd of, or a regiment of, etc., and they take, or it takes, singular or a singular verb. So we shall proceed towards agreement number 21. And agreement number 21 means about the use of a number of. If a sentence begins with a phrase a number of, it takes a plural verb. Yes, if a sentence begins with a phrase a number of, it takes a plural verb. Example, a number of students. Here students. That means students means plural. A number of students are there because a number of students, that means here the sentence begins with the phrase a number of, and then students, that is used, the noun that is used after it, and it is a plural countable noun, and only for this reason we use the plural verb. But simply you will have to remember it that if a sentence begins with a phrase a number of, most of the cases it takes plural verbs. Then agreement number 22. And if a sentence begins with the phrase the number of, it takes a singular verb. It is quite simple. That means if a subject begins with the phrase the number of and it takes a singular verb, give a look. If a sentence begins with a phrase the number of and it takes a singular verb, example, the number of students is 50. The number of students is 50. Then we shall proceed towards agreement number 23. And this agreement tells us that some of the nouns, they look plural, but actually they are singular. That means actually they are uncountable nouns. And as they are uncountable nouns, they take singular verbs. But they look as if they are plural nouns or plural countable nouns, but actually they are singular, that means they are uncountables, so they take singular verbs. And what are they? Statistics, physics, mathematics, gymnastics, measles, moms, etc., etc. And these are the nouns, they look plural, but they are uncountable nouns, so they take singular verbs. Give a close look at the blackboard. Yes, agreement number 23. Nouns look plural, but uncountable, so they take singular verbs. So what are the statistics, mathematics, physics, economics, news, measles, gymnastics, civics, etc., etc. And these are the nouns, they always take singular verbs. And there are some other nouns like jewelry, scenery, information, and they are uncountable nouns. And as they are uncountable nouns, so they take singular verbs. And if my channel is useful to you, please subscribe it. And about this video, and if this video is interesting, please like, share and comment it. Thank you.